Hey, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents That Really Work. And today on the phone, I have Colton Lindsay. And Colton, I think everybody listening to this, I think a lot of them are going to already know who you are. You're a superstar, man. But do you want to tell everybody what you got going on nowadays?
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate the call. Shoot, I'm just loving life and just enjoying it. Every single day I'm just trying to focus on how can I be happier, dude? That's my goal in life, And so part of that along the way stems opportunities from meeting people or doing different business ventures. So I've got obviously my sales business in Utah. So if you guys know anyone buying or selling there, get a hold of us there. It's the WGR sales team. We're doing awesome there. I do a lot with Fearless Agent coaching and training. If you guys have heard of me on YouTube at all or my podcast, then you've heard of Fearless Agent for sure. And then I've got my own website, Winning the Inner Game, which I've got some stuff that deals with financial management, some real estate skills stuff, some personal belief and self-confidence stuff. And then I'm actually launching a new business coming out over the next probably 2 or 3 weeks. It's called Winning the Online Game. And it's just an educational platform to help people learn how do you dominate online. I don't know if you've noticed, Jason, but literally the internet and social media has a part in playing with our lives now. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. Man, I tell people all the time, they ask me about, my coaching and my charging for things and stuff, things I talk about in the podcast, and I don't. Because I get so many referrals from these things. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
that's sweet. Man.
Everybody's on Facebook, too. Everybody's on Facebook. They're on Snapchat, Instagram. I think everybody's on Instagram now all of a sudden. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm definitely on there. You guys can follow me at the WGR.
Yeah.
Gotta put my Instagram plug in.
Yeah, God, I still don't get Twitter. I haven't got into that. I can't figure out how to get business from that. But Instagram, I kind of get it here all of a sudden. But Facebook, I think for us as agents now, I think Facebook's non-negotiable.
Yep. I think as human beings, if you're a business owner, you've got to be on Facebook. Did you know, Jason, that more eyes go to Facebook in one day than Google and Amazon combined?
Oh, man, I believe it. I mean, even when I realized that even my grandma had a Facebook account, I got an aunt that's 70. She's got a Facebook account. I mean, and then I've got little cousins that aren't even 18 yet, and they have them. It's unbelievable. Everybody's on it. And I can't believe, how many people follow, just the stupid stuff that I'll post on Facebook sometimes. I don't know if you've kind of, noticed that with your stuff. It's you're walking through the store and you have somebody say, hey, I saw so-and-so on your Facebook. You're going, I don't know who you are. But
yeah, my wife actually gets that all the time. She'll be somewhere with the girls and someone's like, hey, you're Colton's wife. And it's just kind of creepy, because they're friends with me on Facebook. I actually know them probably. I don't think it's just some weird stranger. I think they actually know us in real life, but they don't know my wife. And so she's surprised because I post pictures of my daughters or my wife or whatever. And then she gets caught off guard. So yeah, people will recognize you.
Yeah, man.
Here's a question. Let me ask you this, Jason. What do you think people branding on Facebook, do they have to be careful what they're putting out there, or do you put out whatever? What are your thoughts on that?
For me, my Facebook is actually my real personality. I used to worry about things like that. You say, oh, I don't want to post this or I don't want to post that. I think as long as you're posting something that's true to your own personality, I don't think it matters. But I do think that if you're trying to build a brand, you're trying to build a larger brand, or you're working on a brand, you do need to be somewhat mindful. I'm not going to, there are limits to what I will post. You know what I mean? I don't feel I post a lot of political stuff, but if you see my page, God, everybody, I'm real involved in that stuff, day to day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's a fine line of what can go digital and what can stay offline forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think about that? What do you think about building your brand online?
That's how I've been able to be so successful online, through branding my sales business, which actually I was probably most reluctant to attach my brand online to my real estate sales business, over everything else. But the more I just got authentic on who I am, what I'm doing, what my belief is, and what my purpose is, it just attracts. People want to follow that when they want to be enrolled in something. So I definitely think you should be you. If that involves, putting political stuff, or if that involves you dropping the F-bomb, that's you. You know what I mean? So just be real.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, if it's in line with your personality. I mean, I have been real reluctant to, post real estate agents that really work stuff on my personal Facebook page. I just haven't done it. And I guess I just, that's a really good question. I think when I released the book a few weeks ago, that was the first thing I really put on my Facebook page that said, hey, I'm really doing this. And I put it out to my friends and family and general public. Real estate agents, I guess until recently, I felt like, hey, it was just kind of a hobby and just, something for me to do, something to help me accountable, and something that I got to talk to a lot of great agents and ask all of my questions the same way I'm doing you.
That's the secret to sales, is asking great questions. Or even coaching. If you want to, help someone else, a great coach just asks great questions. I learned from Bob Leffler early on that if you don't like the answers you get to your questions, ask better questions, right? So
yeah,
if you
just got to change the questions.
Yeah, you want better answers? Ask better questions. That's all.
So let me ask you. I took and I interviewed Garrett the Great, who's been working with you, God, forever, man. I've seen where you posted the thing where he's been working with you like 4 or 5 years now, and that's awesome to have somebody that's that's a team member, to be a team member that long. Man, how do you find great team members like that, Colton? Because you seem to have a lot of synergy between your team, and they seem to be kind of a fairly tight group. How do you find people like that?
I've made some bad hires too, by the way, so don't make it seem like everyone's been a great hire. I've made some mistakes, but honestly, do you know the story of how I hired Garrett? Have you heard it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll tell you the story, man. I thought you've heard the story. So you've read the book Think and Grow Rich before?
Yeah.
Okay, so Think and Grow Rich, there's obviously a section, one of the 17 principles that Napoleon Hill teaches is it's the mastermind group, right? One of the masterminds that Napoleon Hill did was an invisible cabinet in his head. Guys like Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln, Ben Franklin. He had these guys that he would envision them in his head. And he would ask them questions. And so I started doing this with one of my mastermind, or like just in my head. And so I got a group of people that was in my head. I had Bob Leffler in my head. I had Abraham Lincoln at the time in my head. I actually had Mike Ferry in my head. So I get all these guys in my head. I'd ask them questions. And it was funny because I asked the question what my next move was in order to expand my business. Okay. And Mike stood up and slammed his hand on the table, Mike in his old man goofy way does, and he says, hire Garrett Allred. And so I was like, who the hell is Garrett Allred? And at the time in my head, I had no idea, consciously who he was. And you're probably shitting your pants, is Colton gone off the deep end? This is crazy, right? And so I wrote down his name and I went and looked him up on Facebook. This is probably 2012 or something like that. No, 2013. 12 or 13, right around there, and I Googled it, or I Facebooked him and found him out, and then I searched him on our MLS, and lo and behold, literally he was a real estate agent in our market, so I must have subconsciously heard his name somewhere, I would guess. I don't know how else to relate that, I literally found out about him this way. So I called him up, and I said, hey, Garrett, this is Colton Lindsay, how you doing? And made my intro, and I said, hey, just wanted to call see if you wanted to come work with me in my real estate sales business. And he said yes. And so the next day he came and met at my office, and that was it. He started working with me, and he's been one of my favorite friends and best business partners ever since then.
No kidding. It's kind of funny,
story,
how you're drawn and stuff to people that that are just just the most random stories. God, I found you one day. I think I was part of your group or something, and I just sent you a message, and I said, hey man, how's it going? What are you doing in Utah? And you told me all about, what you were doing, selling real estate. You told me about Fearless Agent. You told me all this cool stuff. And then like it was kind of funny. I talked to you, and then I talked to Bob, like literally within days apart. I already had an appointment set up with Bob when I first talked to you, and I didn't know that you guys were connected in any way, you know? And I know I've told you this story. I mean, one of the things that Bob told me, I told him, I said, man, I'm setting a lot of appointments, but, you know, I could get a lot more, but some of them are cheap properties, and I can't go list somebody's house. I can't go list a property for 10 or 12 grand and sell it and make $300, you know, gross commissions. I just can't afford to do that. And Bob said, well, why don't you charge more? And I said, well, shit, why don't I charge more? And then like over the course of probably 6 months, I probably made an extra $30,000 or $40,000 from that one thing that Bob told me. And I still do it. I mean, it's a big part of my real estate business nowadays. Now I go after mobile homes on leased land. I think I've told you that story.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only agent that purposely goes after mobile homes on leased land. It's just a niche in my market where there's not any competition, and I don't mind doing them. And I charge a flat fee on the listing side. You know, we can all set our fees. I mean, that's the big thing. Yeah.
We've been doing the same thing. And I had started raising my commissions, obviously, on smaller deals, and then I remember that conversation you said to me, like, because I always hated mobile homes too, right? So we started doing it. Garrett just did one where he listed it and sold it cash in like 11 days. It's so funny. He got a call like 3 p.m. or something. We were out getting a bite to eat, and he got a call, and anyways, by like 4:30, he was closing it at our office, like $24,000 cash and flat fee, $3,500 with our processing fees, another $700. So I mean, that phone call literally made him made the team $4,200 that quick. So
yeah,
we got 3 others. Jeremy, do you know Jeremy on my team? Jeremy Nutt?
You know what? I've exchanged some messages with him through Facebook. A nice guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's actually has an appointment at like 5 o'clock for another mobile home. So they always typically sell cash for the most part, and if you can just price them well, they'll sell and you'll get paid. So
yeah,
I think that's what the goal is.
In my market, you know, it's only affordable housing left. And I mean, I had one, man, I put it on the market the night before. The next day I was in continuing education. I had a lady that called me and said, hey, I want this mobile home. Laura, you met my girlfriend when we ate lunch together.
Oh yeah.
So I text Laura and I say, hey, I'm in continuing education. This lady really wants this house. Can you go show it to her? That was like 9 o'clock in the morning. They write up a contract. I text my people. We get an offer accepted and everything. My clients drive down, her clients drive down, and we close the whole thing in one day. It's the fastest closing I've ever done. I mean,
that's
I
how
listed
they typically go too. Even if they are cash transactions, most of the time people aren't doing like 2, 3, 4 week close. They're doing like 2, 3, 4, 5 hour closes. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, they look at it. It's like selling a car. They look at it and say, yeah, okay, I'll take it. What'd I do? And sometimes it surprises you. You have, I mean, there's been times where I've been, oh man, I can't do anything today. Can we do it tomorrow? I did not expect that, but it's cool. Like, you know, there's been some months where I've closed 4 or 5 in a month and, you know, made $10,000-$15,000. And, you know, it's been just quick, easy money that I would not have made if I never had that conversation with Bob Leffler.
Well, sweet, dude. There it is. Now you're making quick, easy money. Which, if you're listening to this, go to fearlessagent.com and get signed up for coaching and training today. See, it made Jason an extra $30,000 to $40,000 having that one question alter his entire mobile home business.
Yeah, that was like in the first 6 months too. But you've got this team, and this team is steady going out there. They're circle prospecting and all this stuff. How do you keep up with all the numbers they call in the data, and how do you keep up with all that every day?
We just use Mojo. Like, that's our CRM of choice. We have a great working relationship with those guys over there, so they do a lot to help us if we want to make tweaks to the system. They make some pretty quick changes for us. And so we've got about 67,000 people in our database currently. Obviously, those aren't all hot leads, right? That'd be awesome if it was, but you start with your colder leads, clear down to your hotter leads, to know your SOI or even the ones you're working currently. So you always have someone to call, and then from there we've built out systems, that I learned through Fearless Agent. I just adapted to put them into Mojo, and it's perfect note tracking system in there. You schedule, campaigns on them. You can move them to MailChimp, tasks. You got miscellaneous fields. Like, it's just like the greatest thing ever in real estate databasing, in my opinion. So,
well, how do you get started though? Like you said, you got 67,000 people in your database. Where do those people come from?
You know what? I just never threw people completely away. I always kept them listed somehow, and then when I needed someone, I kept calling them. So originally started with my first sell by owner started with Buy Owner Daily, and if you guys want to go get 2 weeks free, go to buyownerdaily.com/winning the inner game, and you can get 2 weeks free on me. Just part of what an affiliate relationship I have with them. But that's when I first started, and I started keeping my first sell by owners. We have a lot of for sale by owners in our area. For the most part, it's like the do-it-yourself capital of the world. And so I just kept building those up, and then I started. When I first got into the business, title companies actually could give leads out, so I was getting them for free from titles. And then the insurance laws changed here, so they can't do that anymore. But I would get expires on FSBOs, and then as I got going, I started spending some more money, build up my SOI list, very quickly, and so I started calling those people. And then, I got opportunities with different companies like Mojo with their neighborhood search. I've been a customer so long with Mojo. I bought their neighborhood search when it was a one-time fee for $200. Now I think they charge a monthly fee for it. But so I just can go get unlimited numbers with Mojo with them. And then I had some big lists from title companies too back in the day, from like 8 to 10,000 in my county, based on 75% loan to value, on it with 25% equity. And so just keep building the database. And then it's like you sift through the database to shake out the warm leads, and you funnel them down. And now it's so easy to stay in touch with people. You still must be on the phone. I'm not me and each one of my team members. When I'm working at the office, I'm on the phones 2.5, 3 hours a day every day. My team's on the phone 3 hours a day each minimum. That's the target. And so as you start calling more and more people, you start building a bigger and bigger database, and through social media, through MailChimp, through postcards, through phone calls, through text messages. I mean, we stay in front of our growing database, our active growing database. We stay in front of them about 84 times a year through one way of those methods. And so you just brand. When you brand, then people come to you just naturally.
Wow. So these team members, I know there's a lot of people, I'm sure, they're going to listen to this, and they're going to, they're in the process of building a team. How do you keep those team members motivated to get on the phones 2 and 3 hours? Because, we know that's tough work, especially if you're a brand new agent and you're brand new, you haven't done a whole lot of business yet. You just joined Colton Lindsay's team. How do you motivate that person to stay on the phone, show up when they're supposed to?
Great question. It's kind of like a trick question, and I can't motivate them. Like, that's the reality of it. I can't motivate you. You can't motivate me. You can't motivate anyone. The only thing that can actually motivate an individual, a person, is their own imagination. And so part of what I've been able to do is develop, just like with buyers and sellers, I just got great at asking them questions that cause them to see and imagine in their own head the life that they want. I'm very, very clear on what our mission is too. Our mission is to dominate the Wasatch Front real estate sales, and our vision is to empower everyone on my sales organization to become financially free. Like, that is so important to me, that if you're in business with me, our target is get you financial freedom. And for me, financial freedom is where your passive and residual income pay for your desired lifestyle, right? So once you can get free, you can just breathe a little bit, and you can start working in your purpose versus out of survival mode. You can get more thrival. The other thing is, as part of our vision, is to create massive value for buyers and sellers across the Wasatch Front. And then the final thing is to be able to give back in a huge way, a huge opportunity to our community. And so as I ask these questions, that's my vision that I've created for the team. Their vision has to fit inside of that. And so by asking questions, I get them thinking about what their vision is, what they want to create. And it develops ownership of the team. It's not just about me. It's about the team. They're the ones that are making the success, not me. All I've done is just been able to share with them how I've been successful. And if you want to be successful the way I've done it, awesome. Let's do business together. If you don't want to do it this way, that's fine too. And through that, we've just developed a culture. Our culture is very, very clear. Number one is we must have a positive mental attitude. You know, like I said, my goal at the first of this call is to have happiness, Jason. Like, I just want happiness in my life. And happiness is not having a bunch of anxiety and stress and negative energy in your life. Happiness is opposite. It's positive energy. It's love. It's abundance. It's joy, right? And you can only do that through the way you perceive experiences in life. So number one for our culture is a positive mental attitude. Number two is the it factor. You got to go do it. You got to get to work. And you guys listening in might say, hey, Colton, what's it? What is it? And it is it. Like, you just do it. Well, Colton, you know, I don't have numbers to call. Great, go do it. Call them anyways, right? Well, Colton, I don't have a script for sale by us. Great, man. Awesome. Go do it. Go make it happen. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to have that part of the culture. And number three is we are contribution based. We are all about serving. This year we worked on a project and I enrolled my team members in giving Christmas to 100 people in our community. You know, between my donation and what we raised, we had $8,500 to give back just to our local community for Christmas presents.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, the fourth thing for us, part of our culture is to have a shit ton of fun, right? Part of being happy is having fun. If you're having fun, you're loving life. And then the final thing is they must have part of our core group. We must have a burning desire to build wealth and financial freedom. And so I've just painted that vision for people and say, here's what I'm creating. You guys want to be a part of it or not? And people that do, they stick and we have a great time. People that don't, they don't. They go do whatever, they go do their own thing. So that's been my thing. That's how I've done it.
So what are you recommending they do to build passive income?
Well, I started with real estate, buying real estate rental properties, and I will continue to buy real estate rental properties. But what I found, though, is the most I'm going to get is maybe 10 to 12% return on my cash invested in. Obviously, I can play the long run game and build up appreciation, but passive and residual income pays you today, right? So real estate's a great way. It's just going to take a while to do it because it's slower to build. The passive income, I can go buy a condo for, I think my cheapest one was 35 grand, the most was 50 grand. And so I can get that. I can go drop 50 grand on a property and make $420, $450 a month net profit off of that for 12 months. But I still then got to save another 50 grand to buy that. Got to save 50 grand to buy that. So what I realized is there had to be a better way, which to me is through digital marketing. If you're not online digitally, that is the quickest way in today's environment, today's existence, to build residual income. I think it's important too, Jason, people know the difference between passive and residual. Passive is you fog the mirror and it pays you. Residual is you fog the mirror and you got to send a few emails and then you get paid, right? So it's a little bit more work in residual, but not much once you get it rocking and rolling. And there's a ton of opportunity in the digital world right now. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think so too. And there's not as much competition as anybody thinks there is. I mean,
by the way, dude, this whole idea of competition's got to go out the window. It's not about competition, especially now. It's about collaboration. Who are you collaborating with? Who are you learning with?
You're right. It is. I mean, it's kind of interesting when people talk about it though. When they talk about competition, when they talk about what they're doing and how they're doing it, and even with expireds and for sale by owners, guys, my market's super competitive, and I never hardly go on a listing appointment, I feel like, where there's another agent showing up. And, I feel like even if you're talking about the digital world and different groups on Facebook or different websites and web products, everybody's a little different, and everybody's got a little different approach and all that stuff. And everybody's and you can tell, too, the people that are genuine and the people that are clearly not. But, what advice, Colton, could you give some of these newer agents out here that are listening? A lot of my audience, I feel like, has been in the business probably less than 2 years. Most of them are doing around 10, 15, 20 transactions a year. What kind of advice would you have them to help them get to the level that you're on? Because you're at a point, and I probably should say this, you're at a point where you're thinking about, you're looking at how can you grow your business to step out of it. Is that correct?
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons we hired Jeremy, is so he could help the expansion model through our team across the West Edge front. But that have someone that can take over my referral clients, someone that's capable of doing it. That's why we hired him. But so here's what I would say. Number one is just recognize, well, hey, I've been in this business for 11 years. I've been in business since I was 21 years old, and it didn't happen overnight. Could have happened quicker? Probably.
People listen to me and you, and they forget that, they just started using these scripts and dialogues and stuff last week. We were doing them 10 years ago,
exactly.
10, 12 years ago. I mean, it takes time, and you build that muscle. But I'm sorry.
You know what's crazy? We were selling houses before Facebook, my friend. Can you believe that?
You're right. Dude, I remember telling people, I'm not going to get a Facebook account. I tried, what was the thing before Facebook, dude?
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. I forgot what you call it. I tried MySpace, didn't really like it. I'm not going to do Facebook. I remember telling people that.
Yeah.
And now I probably get more texts through Facebook than I do through my phone number.
Yeah. Oh, totally, man. So, speaking of, you know what's so cool about Facebook? This is about how, you know what they're doing. I would imagine it's rolled out any time now that you're doing, but I have business pages that people like used to be like 60,000 or something like that.
I'm sorry, we were breaking up just a little bit. What were you saying?
Oh, don't you have business Facebook pages like 6,000 followers or something like that?
Oh gosh, I got a Facebook group at 65,000 people now.
Yeah, and that's you do Facebook. That's the one you do Facebook ads on, right?
Yeah, I do Facebook ads on that. And what I've learned is we've talked about ad calls privately and stuff. And what I've learned is that the reason I'm getting registrations and stuff so cheap is because that page is so large.
So here's what Facebook is working on. I'm not sure that it's releasing it, but all of those people that pay, they have Messenger, right? Messenger is you said I don't want to see a message. You actually text messages these days, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to use that Messenger to your business page. It's kind of like an email campaign system, which is huge. If you're developing that platform, plus to take it one step farther, so if you sell digital products, you're going to be able to offer digital products through that Messenger. People click it, they buy a product, right? That's part of sales funneling. They buy a product, they put their credit card information in, and then you sell them a $97 product. They're going to be able to just one click purchase it, just like you have a Prime account on Amazon, right? So it's going to make opportunity huge for digital marketers within inside of the Facebook platform, not to mention just real estate marketers, because part of what we do is we stay in front of our past clients and our followers 80-something times a year or more, right? Plus what we're posting on our and promoting in front of them. So you're going to be able to have one on the way to stay in front of them on a large scale campaign through the Messenger when that comes out. So it's not messaging one person at a time. From the way I understand it, you're going to be able to message 65,000 people at a time. How would that help brand you a little bit?
Man, that's insane. I'll tell you what. Sometimes I'll post on my page, and I don't know if you experience this. You post a good property. It's a little bit underpriced. It looks real good. You got lucky and you took excellent pictures yourself. And dude, I can't keep up with the messages through my Facebook page some days. It's like, I do that and I spend a little money on ads. But if I could actually send a private message out to those people, that would be insane. I wouldn't be able to keep up with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it would definitely help grow your business. And so going back to the question that was asked, what would I say to these people that have been, in business 2 years or less? Number one is be on the phones talking with human beings still for at least 3.5, 4 hours every single day, right? My guess is you don't have 15 in escrow, so you've got plenty of time to stay prospecting. That's your first thing. Number two is be heavily involved in branding who you are via social media. I would have never thought, Jason, in 2011 when I posted my first YouTube video, Up Sideways, without a plan, just I wanted to be involved there, that I would be making, $12,000 a month just off of affiliate relationships and selling some digital products. Like, that blows my mind. Some people listening to this aren't even making $12,000 a month in their real estate business. I would have never thought I could have done it through digital marketing as well. So you'll be surprised at what opportunities will pop up just through mass amounts of social networking. So that would be my 2 cents. Prospect like no other and network like no other.
Yeah. What do you think about working your sphere of influence through Facebook as far as like messaging?
I think that's great. I don't personally do it a ton. Like, I don't have a campaign or anything set up for it, but I do talk to clients all the time on there. They'll pop in and have questions. We market for client appreciation events through that. Once we invite them, then we can send a message out from that, event to those people. So there's some really cool stuff you can do. Like, here's an example. We did Black Island Farm, which is a corn maze. A lot of people do that type of thing for a client appreciation event. But what we do is we create the group on Facebook, the event page. Then you can send messages to the people that have replied or haven't replied. And so it now becomes an enrollment to be able to be in branding yourself more in front of these people. And if you're not staying in front of people 10x, right? Grant Cardone says 10x it.
Yeah.
You got to 10x how much you're exposing yourself now more than ever, because social media is going to continue to grow and there's going to be more and more information on it, and you can get lost in the information if you're not out in the forefront of it.
Yeah. What kind of budget do you think they should have if they're doing Facebook ads and branding themselves online? What kind of budget do you think they should have for Facebook?
I think it depends on where they're at in their business. If you're newer in your business, and you've got like no money to spend, don't spend anything there. Start getting on the phone with FSBOs and expireds and cold calling and generating revenue. Business is about getting revenue flowing into you, right? Once you get it in, then, start creating a marketing budget. I would start by first marketing with your SOI and your past clients and the people that know you. Then start to move into Facebook ads. And start small. Start with like $200 a month, right? And start to play around with some of the ads. There's a lot of free ways you can even use Facebook without doing ads. You can post. What we'll do, Jason, is we'll go to our website. We'll search for the top 25 homes in Davis County. We'll take that link and then we'll go post it in like classified groups, like yard sale groups or county classified groups. And we'll say, hey guys, check out the top 25 4-bedroom, 2-bath that are $250K in Davis County. I got the list for you right here. So they'll click on it, start looking through 2 or 3 houses, and boom, they got to put their information in the computer. Which still, what happens, Jason, when you get an online lead? Do you have to call it, or do they magically just, close on a house?
Oh yeah, you got to call it, man. I'm using conversion, and conversion does do a lot of work for me, but you still got to call.
Yeah, you got to call.
I'll tell you, man, I've been doing the same thing, as far as posting stuff in these classified groups. But then as people respond, I make it a point to respond to every response I get in that group. So if somebody tags a friend, I don't know if you've seen that, if that happens in your market. I'm sure it does. People will tag their friend on that post. I respond going, hey, can I help you guys with a house? Is there anything I can help you with a home? And I respond to every one, and it keeps bumping it back up to the top of the group, and more people see it.
So that's one of the things that I really neglected for a long time is I would just post stuff, right? And people would like it or comment or whatever. I wouldn't do anything after that, right? It's like cold call prospecting. When you're cold call prospecting, most of the money's made on the back end. It's not the first time you talk with the person. Could be 2, 4, 5, 6, 12 months down the road that you convert and through your database and maintaining that relationship, right? Same thing with social media. It's not the original post that gets you the most value, especially if you're smaller scale. You're not a big brand like Coca-Cola or Oreo or something like that. It's literally having the conversation, just putting the thumbs up on when they post something, or saying thanks for visiting, or how can I help you, or just some little banter. Banter is one of my favorite words, right? It's just having fun with people and just having conversation. So the banter is where it's at.
Yeah, I've done that same thing, man. For a while, I just posted in a group and people would comment and stuff, and I wouldn't do anything. And I was listening to some keynote Gary Vaynerchuk was giving, and he kept saying, he said he was challenging people. He said, for 1 year, go and message. He said, every person that responds to your post on social media, you should make a response back, even if it's clicking like on it, or you're saying, oh, thanks, Colton, I appreciate that. If it's a compliment or whatever it is, and you should respond to every comment that you get. And man, when I started doing that, I felt like my reach, even on my personal page, went through the roof. My reach on my business page went through the roof. I mean, it's like everything increased. I mean, everything did. My ad costs went way down. It was quite interesting when I started doing that.
Well, and part of that too is okay, you can't be commenting all day long. So you've got to put it as far as your schedule. That's one of the things that we teach at Fearless Agent is have a rock star schedule. So nowadays you've got to actually schedule into your time 30 minutes to go through social media, maybe 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. You know, you can't be on it all day long. And even myself, dude, I'm sure you're the same way. Even myself, catch myself going to it pretty regularly.
Oh yeah, dude. I will waste a lot of time. You know, I need to be better time blocking with it. but I typically look through in the morning. I wake up some mornings though, and I'll have 100 notifications on Facebook sometimes, and some of it's just stupid stuff my friends have tagged me in or messaged me or something. You know, there's a few of them that you look at and you go, oh my God, I hope that didn't show up on my page. But yeah, man, you can spend a ton of time on social media. You're right. You have to time block it. You know, what do you think about Snapchat though? Have you done Snapchat or anything on Snapchat?
Yeah, I think it's cool, to be highly interactive. It's definitely better for the millennials. Absolutely. I don't know enough about it yet. I do think that I think Instastory and Instagram is working better for me just because I know how to use it more. I think you have to pick some platforms though. I think you can't do all of them, but like for me, it's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's podcast, it's Instagram, and it's Twitter. And the only thing with Twitter really is I just send stuff there from the rest of my stuff, right? If you're going to be involved in Snapchat, yeah, you got to automate it. That's the challenge for me with Snapchat is I can't really automate it. I will use Snapchat though when I think about it. It's hard to automate for me.
What are you doing with, I got like 3 more questions for you, man. I know I told you, I promised you 30 minutes and we're over 30 minutes, but I got like 3 or 4 more questions for you. Man, so YouTube, how important
stuff we're seeing online is either a quick 164 type character post or it's a video, right?